What are your thoughts on, if you're based in the UK now, on this term Black British that people have been using without saying Black British Caribbean or Black British African?
I think there's for me, and some can have their own opinions. I just think I see Jamaican culture as a brand that's been exploited. It's a plug and play culture that's become so generic right across, and it's like we haven't done enough housekeeping, we can say that. I mean, we are, due to probably because of the heavy lifting that we've done, over the years, we've always stood for everyone in the UK, certainly when the Windrush was here and there was the Teddy people that was going around harassing people. We were pivotal in that. We stood up.
Man.
Yeah, we stood up. Rudy don't fear no boy, and we stood up. We did our thing, and we're people. We're very proud people.
Oh, just a second, Jay. So for those of you that don't know, because we've got people from the States as well here, Teddy Boys were a hate group, right? So during the Windrush era, so in the 40s and then onwards, when people came from the West Indies, so when my Jamaican family came over and so on, and then people who were Trinidadian and people from Barbados and Grenada and St. Lucia, all these people that came from the West Indies during that time to the UK, not because they were trying to get help or it was like, oh, let's escape our country. It was nothing like that. Britain asked them to come. Okay, they asked people from the islands to come to the UK. They said in their posters, welcome home, by the way, come home. And the goal was to get them to help rebuild the country after World War II. So that was the reason that they came to the UK at the time. And there was a group called the Teddy Boys. I mean, for America, what would I liken it to? Probably like the Triple K type thing, and it may be. But they were very much, they hated that and would harm people that came during the Windrush. They were very violent. And there was also the National Front, which was also a very far-right group that was telling people to go back home and all this weird shit, even though they were quite literally invited over. People lost their lives. There was a famous story, it doesn't take much, you can look it up, with a girl that was celebrating her birthday. She was a teenager and they put a firebomb through the door and set the house on fire, and children and kids got hurt and the girl died.
That's what I once said. They're burning our children.
This is all that remains of the three-story house where nearly 100 young West Indians were celebrating at an all-night birthday party for two young friends.
That night, we were there at the party, and for people outside looking in, I mean, maybe they can just imagine.
Just before 6 o'clock this morning, the singing and dancing gave way to panic as flames shot through the upper floors and screaming teenagers began to leap from the windows.
The feeling was that it had been another racist attack. Racist attacks were happening on a daily basis in that area.
There had been a great amount of far-right activity in Deptford. They attacked the youth clubs, they attacked the Albany Centre.
3 years ago, the old Albany Theatre was gutted by fire.
Places of entertainment for black people. There was another firebomb at the Moonshot Youth Club, both literally a stone's throw from 439 New Cross Road.
Children have been burnt.
Like, there was a lot of violence back then. So that's what he's referring to when he mentions Teddy Boys. For those of you that do not know, okay, go ahead, Jay. Sorry, finish your point.
So going on to the whole Black British, from we've been, I would say, the staple in that sense. When it comes to entertainment, music, and also been the somewhat front runners in this. The first journalist, she's a Jamaican. She's returned now. She's at home. Also in the NHS, we've gone And we've set trends, for others, and we've also laid the foundations for many who are now here today, certainly from Africa. And that's the type of people that we are. We don't put up with foolishness. We don't tolerate rubbish, but at the same time, I like to put it is that we are empathetic, but we're not sympathetic. We don't tolerate crap. You understand? And we're no nonsense. And, our culture, is a brand, which everyone is now sporting, I would say, today.
I hear that. I like that you referred to it as what seems to be a brand now, because that's how people are treating it. People that aren't in the community are treating it, and that's why I think some of them will use the brand and wear the brand and see it as something that you can just tap into when you feel like, and then say the people who are that very thing that they're essentially cosplaying don't have a culture. They'll be like, oh, you don't have a culture. You don't have a culture. Oh, what are you, just like reggae people? It's like, there was a girl, you weren't here at the time. This was a few weeks ago on one of my previous lives, and there was a Nigerian girl that came on who was British. She didn't like what was being said. So I promise you, I'm not even joking. Her response was to attempt, emphasis on attempt, to cuss us out in Jamaican patois. I said, like that doesn't work. I said, speak like you. Speak like you. You're Nigerian, talk like you. Cuss us out in your lingo, go on. But no, everything that was coming out of her mouth was Jamaican pattern, Jamaican, this is a suck your mother, and all of that. I said, hold on. But you're Nigerian though, so how come you're not tapping into who you are right now to cuss us? Go on. Couldn't do it.
And it's so ironic as well.
To feel spicy with somebody that have to lock into acting. Ain't that mad?
It's ironic.
Let Jay tell you about the girl that came on my live, claimed that she born in Jamaica, have a full-blown Nigerian accent, showing us Jamaican document. Jay, you explain it because I didn't speak to her.
One second before Jay says something, it is so ironic.
I remember that.
Sorry, it is so ironic here that they're telling us that we are them, but then on the flip side, they start to act and talk like us. Like, which is it, fam? Pick a side. Pick a side.
Her and her siblings were trying to talk to me about Jewish and German ancestry, and I didn't believe them. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, that sounds ridiculous. Like, how do you put those two together? Like, it sounded crazy to me. But I understand and I accept that, like, there's loads of different admixtures, and the history is just so vast that can happen. Like, there's no question.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4 said, listen to the romance on their Euro heritage. It has nothing. No one is romanticizing the Europe heritage. We're just pointing out the fact.
Hold on. Miss Somebody, you don't have to address that, because watch this, Senate.
You guys know.
Hold on. The reason that they're saying that, I didn't see it, but I'm glad you referenced it. The reason they're saying that is because if you do not only acknowledge, emphasis on only, acknowledge African ancestry, then you're anti-African. You're not allowed to acknowledge anything else. You're not allowed to acknowledge anything else to do with your history. You're not allowed to acknowledge anything else about who you are, right? Because if you do that, you are now anti-African. There's a man that went flipping viral the other day, an MP, who's Irish, because when he was speaking, people thought he was Jamaican because of his accent.
Right.
There are people in Jamaica that have Irish accents, and that's like unfathomable for so many people. There's a history though, which is why that happens and why it's happening and why there are people that sound like that. But don't talk about that, because now you're just self-hating. As long as you're brown, you're self-hating. Listen, I understand the history. I understand what the slave trade was. I understand how sick the people that were European elites who engaged in it were. I understand what they did to Taino people, which still angers me, right? I understand what they did to the people that they purchased from West Africans who captured and sold, right, these people and then brought them over to the islands. I acknowledge all of it. It's not about romanticizing. It's about acknowledging reality. And if you don't like it, well, then that's your problem, bro. That's your flipping problem, because when you're ready now to distance yourself, right, and say if someone's Pan-Africanist and they happen to be Caribbean, now you feel like you got them under your foot or under your thumb, and then it's like, oh, you guys are the children of slaves, though. Okay, then, right? You like to use it when it makes you feel good, innit? Like, piss off. I'm not hearing all of that. I'm not hearing
Like, we're
that.
gonna feel some type of way as well.
And you know why our history's like that, yeah? Do you know why that history is what it is, and why there's so many books on it, and why people teach it in schools and all the rest of it? It's because of what people in West Africa did. So stop it. Like, I'm not trying to hear all of that. I am still reading and learning and trying to understand some of the stuff that people are speaking to me about at the moment who are West Indian, and I'm exploring, history and stuff like that. Cool. But as far as it currently is, and my viewpoint currently based off of what I learned just about the slave trade on its own, I acknowledge African ancestry right now, right? And it doesn't change the fact that my ancestors and my family and what they did, right, was off the back of something that was so terrible and so awful, and they still came through and developed something that you want to copy right now. So you can piss off. Like, I'm not trying to hear all of that. Oh, you guys only care about your European side. You don't care about your African side. Listen, I already told you, I acknowledge African ancestry, the end. But you're not going to colonize my identity. I don't flipping care. You're not going to flipping do it. Focus on your identity and your culture that you want everyone to be so flipping bad.
Call it.
At the end of the day, when people want to force their image on you, it's because they don't like their image. Like, let's not pretend, Like, let's not do that, because I know what it is. I know what it is. You guys really think, yeah, that when I was in London and I was around so many West Africans, that any of them thought that I was from where they're from? Not a single one of them. Oh, where are you from? Like, what's your background? What's that? Hold on. And I had to explain it to them. Why? Because they didn't recognize what I look like in their community.
Stop telling them.
Hold on. But when you want to humble Caribbean people, when you want to humble people who are Caribbean heritage from the West Indies, right, in their heritage, when you want to humble, that's when your identity becomes relevant. I think that's strange, because if I want to humble someone, I'm not using my community, I'm not using my branding, I'm not using my culture. I like my culture too much to give that out to everybody. So maybe ask yourself about your own self-hate and stop getting onto other people who have developed something that everyone wants to copy and that everyone loves. Everything that's spicy that you like, yeah, is what people built on their own. It's nothing to do with you. If there are elements of little parts of your influence, and that's just what that is, there are influences from everywhere. That's just how that goes. But what it is right now, today, isn't you. The end. The flipping end, bro. Like, I don't care. Please. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, Kandaki, I'm going to come to you and then Michelle. So go ahead, Kandaki. You already said
I find what my man saying is disrespectful, man. Like, you're trying to diss Africans and everything, like, I can say that we come from Africa, but we're not African. I can get that. Like, the English, their ancestors, the Anglo-Saxons, the Jutes, they come from Germany, but they're not German. And like the Scottish people, their ancestors, they come from Ireland, but they're not Irish. Like the same can be said with the Jamaicans. Like we're not African, but definitely 100% our ancestors come from Africa. So what is he saying is like pure disrespectful. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, and then on the prompt, what are your thoughts? First of all, are you a Pan-Africanist?
I'm not a Pan-Africanist, but yeah, I wouldn't disrespect Africa for no reason. Like right. No reason. It makes no sense.
Okay, and then on the first prompt, is the term Black British being used to erase Caribbean identity?
100%.
You think so? Why do you say that?
Because Africans use British identity to bite off Caribbean culture, like basically MLE, the way how we speak, carnival, etc. That's what I believe. Yeah.
I saw a girl brand herself in it was like Jamaica. It was like she was wearing the Jamaican colours, and then she like painted bits of herself and stuff with Jamaican, like green, gold, and black, right? And then she was like, you know, I am African, but like every time I go carnival, I say I'm Jamaican. And I was like, but why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just be what you are? Why wouldn't you just be what you are?
Yeah, and I think like we saying we're the indigenous people is also disrespectful as well, because like it's erasing what happened in Jamaica. Like we come from enslaved people, and I think we should take pride in that because we survived something that was so tragic. Yeah.
Do you acknowledge the ancestry though, that you would have that blood in you? Because
What
they
Taino ancestry?
I think
I've took a DNA test. It's like it's not even that big. It's only like 0.3%.
Hold on. Because one thing I don't like is this argument that they were made extinct. I think that it's cruel, and it's something that was done by very intelligent people. They say he who wins the war writes the history, right? So this argument that they were completely extinct and they don't exist anymore, and I see people say that, and I'm like, man, like that's such a violation to the people that named the island, you know, to the people that named the island, you know. Place of wood.
Yeah, but I think the worst things because like we don't use like much Taino words. We don't believe in Taino religion. Like yeah, that's distinct. I've took a DNA test and they found like I had trace of Taino ancestry, but it's so small, it's like 0.3%.
Hold on, wait. But you said you found. One sec, I'm gonna come to you, miss somebody. But you said you found Taino ancestry though.
Yeah, but it was like 0.3%. Like yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't that tell you that they're not extinct? And that
not really, because 0.3% is nothing.
Hold on. Doesn't it tell you that the lineage lives on, like the ancestry is there? Even if it's a small amount, some people have more than others.
Listen,
but
I'm more white than I'm Taino. Like 15% of my blood is like white European. I'm not gonna call myself a white person.
You do. No. Wait. You're confusing what I'm saying. I'm not saying call yourself Taino. That's not what I'm saying. Percent European ancestry. That's because of what happened. So we already know that, right? But the fact that you have Taino ancestry, albeit small, right? There were some that will have more. There were others that will have less, and all the rest of it. I think that's testament to the fact that they're not dead. Like they didn't just die out, because you wouldn't have the ancestry if they died out. And if the slave trade happened after they were all unalived, you wouldn't even have it. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that you're Taino. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they weren't unalived and made extinct, because if they were, you wouldn't even have a little bit of it in you of who they are. And I think they were a beautiful, powerful people that did the best that they could under the circumstances. And now what we are now, yeah, we have the blood running through our veins, but it's a testament to the fact that they fought the best they could, and they weren't made extinct. Like they're not, like they still live through us, type of thing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. But do you know Stephen Graham, the actor?
Hold on, let me Google him.
He was in Adolescence. It's basically white hairs, Jamaican ancestry.
Stephen Graham.
Yeah.
His
like,
full Jamaican in it.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
He's a great actor. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Like, say if all the black Jamaicans became extinct and there were only Jamaicans like him, like Stephen Graham, would you say we're not extinct?
Would I say we're not extinct if
in the UK? Like say that all the black Jamaicans became extinct, but the only people like Stephen Graham that have a Jamaican ancestry, would you say that we're not extinct?
But if everyone became extinct, no, I wouldn't. I'd say that everyone became extinct, but that their blood lives on, because there's people carrying it still. That's what I'd say.
I would disagree, to be honest.
You disagree? Why?
So,
I would disagree.
I want to ask a question, because you said black Jamaicans. So there's only, by your definition, Jamaicans are only black.
No, I speak to myself as an Afro-Caribbean person, so I don't speak as an Indo-Caribbean person.
Right.
I don't want an Indo-Caribbean person to speak on me on my behalf.
By your what you just said, is that if all black Jamaicans went extinct,
in the UK, I'm talking about in the UK. I'm not talking about.
But yeah, that's fine. But there is, like you just said, Indo-Jamaicans, there's Chinese Jamaicans, there's all of
but their culture is not the same as my culture. Their culture is not the same as my culture.
What do you mean? I'm confused. Sorry, I'm confused.
He's very confused.
I'm confused. I'm confused because at the end of the day, if you're Jamaican, you're Jamaican. Culture-wise,
Right.
it doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter what you're mixed with. You're Jamaican. If you're Jamaican, you're Jamaican. It's like, it's that simple. If you're Jamaican, you're Jamaican.
Exactly.
It's not true. I disagree.
How do you do this? Like I'm genuinely want to understand.
Because
How is
white
your
Jamaicans,
culture
white
different from
Jamaicans
my
are not in
culture?
slavery. Indo Jamaicans are not in slavery. So how can you say the same thing?
Hold on, chill. Before you answer, I have a question for Miss Somebody. My question with somebody is, I've been seeing in my feed a lot lately, people who are like Chinese Jamaican, right? I've been seeing that a lot, and it's interesting to me because they tend to go viral because it's like, oh, there's Chinese people in Jamaica, and I know that there are people who are Chinese that have moved there for business and so on and opened up hotels, and there's a lot of stuff happening in Jamaica as far as what some of them are doing with beaches and stuff like that. And my question is, if with the Chinese people that are there, do they call themselves Chinese? Do they call themselves Chinese Jamaican, or do they call themselves Jamaican? And if they were to move like to the UK, for example, from Jamaica, would they call themselves Jamaican, or would they call themselves Chinese or Chinese Jamaican?
So are you
But
talking?
this
So
happened
1 second.
Sorry.
It's
Hold
one
on,
second.
answer.
Right.
Go ahead.
So is it you talking about the ones that live there or the ones that moved there to do the roads and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I don't think they. So if you're talking about like the ones that come there temporarily to build and all of that, I don't think they will class themselves as Jamaicans. They're Chinese. I'm talking about the Jamaicans that come there, like I said, as indentured workers, and they build a life there and they're intermarried and all of that. Yes, they're gonna hold on to their culture. They're gonna have cultures passing down. That's normal. You're gonna have cultures passing down, but the overall way of life is Jamaican culture. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, when you go outside, yeah, we can look at you and say you're Chinese. However, the way you speak, the way you operate, the way you do things with your pair, it's Jamaican. But when you go home, or not even when you go home, but there's still gonna be some culture from back home because it's passed down. But again, like I said, overall, it is Jamaican.
Yeah, but what about during the Windrush generation when white people came over to the UK?
Right, so honestly,
they assimilated
to be
white British
I
culture.
can't.
They didn't go with the black Jamaicans.
Okay, so to be fair, I can't really speak on Windrush because, like I said, I just came here 13 years ago. Do you understand? I am Jamaican, like Jamaican. Do you understand? So I can only speak on that. So whilst most people, I can only speak about my 13 years experience, what I've experienced here. Do you understand? So this is why I was saying to you, like, I want you to genuinely explain what you're saying to me because I'm not catching it. Yeah, and obviously, if you see things somewhere and it makes sense, then I would like to know because you're speaking from your point of view and from your experience living in the UK.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kandaki, I think if Kandaki is making reference to like the Windrush communities as well, who were heavily like Afro-Caribbean, right?
Yeah, but there's white Jamaicans as well, and they just came in the UK and they assimilate to white British culture. Yeah.
White Jamaicans?
Yeah, they're white Jamaicans. Yeah, they're white Jamaicans that came in the Windrush generation.
I didn't meet any old white Jamaican people like ever.
Yeah, but the word.
I'm like, yeah, I showed my grandma like a white Jamaican, and she was so fascinated because she wasn't. I mean, to be fair, my grandma's from Trelawney, and then my nan's from St. Catherine's, and my granddad's from Manchester in Jamaica, so they're from everywhere, right? But she hadn't seen that before. I think because people focus on the history, so they're focused on like the Tainos that were already there. And what do they call it? Is that Jamaica?
Jamaica,
right?
Jamaica.
The land of wood and water, right? And then obviously the Europeans came and called it Jamaica, right? And then they'll think about that, and then they'll think about the slave trade that happened afterwards, and that being people that were taken from the continent of Africa to the islands, and then eventually them mixing with the Europeans and the Tainos and all the rest of it. And I think that's where people stop. And then anyone, like, including, you know, the Irish indentured servants and stuff like that, then I think that's where people stop. And then after that, it's like anything after that is like, oh, that's new. Like, we don't really associate that with being like Jamaican blooded. Do you know what I mean? So then when people think about Chinese Jamaicans, it's like, well, when did that happen? I think that's the feeling I'm getting anyway. Am I right, Kandaki, or am I wrong?
Yeah, kind of. You're kind of.
Right.
But I just think our experience as like black Jamaicans is much different than a white Jamaican, like, because like we were enslaved on the island. Our blood and sweat and tears were from the island. Our experience is not the same. And I don't believe in the idea of out of money one people. I think that's like white people use to like, huh? I think that's like what white people use like to exploit like black Jamaicans. Yeah. Like to get them in line. That's what I believe. I don't believe out of many one people. It's 92% black. Jamaica is more black than England is white.
Chill, guys.
One second. Let's get something right.
Hold on. My thing is this. Miss somebody. I think one thing he's going to be referencing is the UK, right? Because you know that guy I mentioned before who made the film. Were you here earlier? I mentioned a film.
Yeah, you talk about Jamaican.
Do you remember? Did you hear about that film, Miss Somebody?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the guy that made it's Nigerian, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you know Jamaicans were very insulted by it. Like none of us liked it. Jamaican heritage people from the island.
Right.
We didn't like it, right? Okay. One thing he said in an interview, I think it was on, was it on BBC One Extra? Where he was being confronted on this and how he pissed everyone off. Mm-hmm. And one thing he said, you know, Jamaica has a motto, out of many, one people. That's what he said. But he didn't say out of many, one. And he used it to justify the shit that he did.
And that's just it. He used it as justification. It doesn't mean that it was right. The motto, in itself, and this is something that I think I've been saying, reiterating, repeating like a scratch record, is the fact that there were so many people living in Jamaica, so many different culture, different people. That's in Jamaica. Like I said, if you go to Jamaica, you can find obviously 90% is African heritage, but then you've got the Lebanese, the Syrians, the this, the that, Chinese, all of these people that are there, that has come together, that has come together and has come under the umbrella of Jamaican. So that is what the motto stands for. Out of many, there's a comma, out of many, we're one people. That's just all it is. That's just all it is. There's several different people there, but that's just it.
Miss Somebody, so I actually referenced the coat of arms and that motto earlier. I don't know if you were here. So I agree that is literally the history, and that's why the motto is what it is. I think I don't know if Kandaki means this, because I agree with the motto, but there's a problem with the people that are not part of the community that are using it to take the piss quite literally.
And this is why we're supposed to tell them off and tell them don't do it. You understand? Like someone said, we don't get keeping off. You understand? When they come and start using that to justify the nonsense, no, we nip it in the bud and say what you're doing. What you're doing is foolishness, because that's not what it means. You understand? And the reason that they can get away with it is because we do not defend it. We do not gatekeep it. This is why they can get away with it until we start doing that.
I don't think you can gatekeep your culture if you have a motto that says out of one, out of many, one people.
You can gatekeep a lot of things, because if you were gatekeeping the motto, he could not have used that as a justification.
England is more white than Jamaica is black, but no white Englishman says, we're out of many, one people.
Because it's not their motto.
Yeah, but I think the motto was used like to disenfranchise Jamaicans, like black Jamaicans.
One second.
Let me bring in real quick Michelle, and then after Michelle it will be Mary Davis, and then Kwan. Hi Kwan. Okay, Michelle, where are you from? What's your ethnic background? Michelle, you're live. Sorry, I love this one. Okay, I'll come to you in a bit, Michelle. You probably like dozed off or something or went to toilet. Mary Davis or Mari Davis. Where are you from? What's your ethnic background? Mari.
People then gone to them bed, good here.
You did that? What? Just try to find out. Mari.
Everybody asleep, man.
Don't fall asleep and it's 2:22 in the morning. Wake up! Alright. Quad.
But she said you mute her. She said you mute her. She said you need you mute her. That's why.
I muted. Oh, hold on, wait. Who did I mute? Mary. Hold on. The invite. Wait, hold on.
Oh, hi.
Who said it?
Hi. Wait.
Hey, I'm good. You muted me and you're like, oh, where are you? I'm wide awake in Jamaica. Yeah, go on.
Right. Are you from where? What's your ethnic background?
I'm black African, but I live in Jamaica. I've been married to a Jamaican for 21 years.
And what's your ethnic background?
I'm Angolan.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think the Jamaicans in Jamaica don't really care about these issues that Jamaicans in foreign worry about. Who's Jamaican, who's not. They love people embracing their culture, and that's it. You guys have the problem. They over here don't care about,
because they're unaware.
Unaware of
Why
what?
would you know that they're not in the UK?
Yeah, but why should you guys have a problem
Mind
with
you,
it,
this
though?
is the lady that put the
affecting
Jamaican
you?
flag.
Hold on, wait. Who's trying to tell me something?
Sorry.
This is the lady who said that.
This woman in her bio, she's got the Jamaican flag before her own country's flag, so I'm never trying to hear
No,
nothing.
I said life, like coastal life between Jamaica and the UK. That's why the flag is there.
You got Jamaica up there before Angola.
Do not act
you got Jamaica up there before Angola.
You're stupid. I said
you got Jamaica up there before Angola. You ain't proud to be Angolan. You're more than happy to be living in Jamaica. You wouldn't be living in Angola. You don't want to live in Angola. You would rather live in Jamaica than live in Angola.
Because my husband is Jamaican. What?
So why don't you live in Angola?
Because my husband brought me to Jamaica.
Because you would rather live there.
Hold on. Wait.
Are you mad? I'd rather live where I want to be. Why are you in
She said she's a proud Jamaican.
What? Proud Jamaican with the flag on my bio. So what? I have a Jamaican passport.
Hold on. Wait. You called yourself Jamaican?
Pardon?
Did you say you called yourself a Jamaican?
No, he said she's a proud Jamaican. I said yes, because I'm
She's
not
a proud Jamaican. It's in her bio.
Put in the comments that she's a Jamaican girl.
Yeah, it's in her bio though. It's written in her bio, Jamaican.
Because he's calling me that. I said yes.
No,
I'm not Jamaican.
You put it in the comments.
Can you guys
Put it in the
listen?
comments.
I'm not Jamaican. I'm Angolan, but I live between Jamaica and the UK. So I have both flags. My bi-coastal life, learn to read between Jamaica and the UK. That's what my bio says. That's why.
Oh, I read it. I just know you take pride in one more than the other, for sure.
Well, I don't go to Angola. I go to Jamaica.
I bet you
don't. What is your problem?
But you're ethnically Angolan.
Documenting my life in Angola.
I bet
I
you
live in Jamaica. So make it make sense.
Yo,
Wait.
stop bad minding the woman. She's getting some good tail fight. That's why she's good.
Hey, listen, Mary. What? Hold on, Mary. Listen, what? How I say your name, Mary or Mary?
Marie.
Look. This hold on. This shouting over the host thing. No, go on.
This girl that keeps coming in and chatting shit.
Listen, that's all dead.
Stop it,
Chill. Don't do that over here, man. That don't run. It's just not gonna do. Okay, so just if I address you, then you get me. You can speak. But until then, like if I'm talking like Larry, okay, now cool.
Go on.
Now my thing, this and it, like. My flags are what they are because I'm ethnically Jamaican, but if you look at my name, it says the Jamaican flag because I'm ethnically Jamaican, and then the British flag because I'm British, right? You're Angolan and you've put Jamaican and British before the Angolan flag, and you called yourself a Jamaican.
No,
Why
he
is that?
said, can you listen now? Excuse me, can you all listen? Listen to understand. Don't listen to
just
reply.
making it up for herself.
I need hold on, wait, no, because my thing is like I need you to take the bass out. Because if I hear too much bass, I feel like you're trying to come for me and then it won't go well.
No, but nobody's coming for you. But I need to be able to express myself. You guys are talking over me. What's the point?
Right, there's no you guys if it's my life. Like,
well, let me finish my sentence as a host.
But I don't know.
Let me finish my sentence.
This is what I feel like you're not understanding. Like, if I let you finish your sentence, because I feel like it. You see, like that. So if I talk,
should be able to hold a conversation.
Then you have to start. And then if I ask you a question, you can speak, but you can't stick it on me like that. No, go run. Like seriously, like pick how you want to talk to me. Hold on.
Don't be disingenuous. Come on now.
I'll be respectful. If you're respectful, I'll be respectful. There's people out there that
very respectful. You're asking me a question and people are replying.
Hold on. There are people that have come on my life that I don't even like, and I've let them finish their flipping sentences because I felt like it, but they were respectful enough, you see. So if I feel like I'm catching a look or something I don't like, then it won't go how you want it to go.
Well, how is it going to go? The only way it's going to go is you dropping me.
I'm going to let you respond, but I don't want to be hearing like, oh, let me finish and this and like, just rule that in.
Well.
She's speechless.
He's being disingenuous, man.
Out of anyone people.
Disingenuous. What are you talking about?
No, finish.
Let me speak.
So you're Angolan and you've moved to Jamaica. Go ahead.
I'm Angolan. I'm married to a Jamaican, and we decided to live in Jamaica. So what's the problem here? I have a Jamaican passport, I have an Angolan passport, and I have a British passport. What's the problem here?
There's no problem.
No one said anything.
Mixed up.
I'm talking about the girl above me that was saying, she has an Angolan. My bio clearly says I'm documenting my bi-coastal life between Jamaica and the UK, and the two flags are there, and then I put my flag on the bottom.
Read the
Did you call yourself a Jamaican in the chat?
No, somebody said she's Jamaican. I said Jamaican and proud. I was just quoting what he said.
Read the topic.
You know, that's all. Listen, she asked me a question to identify myself, where I come from, and I told her. So read the topic. That's nothing to do with it. I'm replying to the host question.
Okay, but now I need you to address the prompt.
What's the prompt? I've already told you that, I think that Jamaicans in Jamaica, which is the Jamaicans I have contact with, don't really care about all these things.
You're not qualified to talk.
But the prompt is about Britain, so
she's not qualified to talk.
Hold on, Simon. One second. Can I say something? Hold on, Mary. Just hold on. One second.
Go on.
Mary, can I just say something? Yeah. I think there's quite a bit, because I'm looking on, and then obviously you came in and then Quan said something and it triggered you, and there's just been a whole lot of back and forth.
Insulting. That's the thing.
I know.
One second. Hold on. One sec, miss somebody. Hold on. Jebel, I can see you. Jebel, Sammy. I can't see the rest of your name. I'm sorry. I can see you. There's too many people on the screen. So as soon as someone finishes and I drop them, I'll bring you on. Okay, but I can see you.
I don't mind. Jebel, I can drop. I don't mind. I can.
It's up to you. It's fine. Like when Mary, because my thing is Mary's not Jamaican or British, so I have to go in terms of like, you get me, what's most relevant. But go ahead, miss somebody. You can address Marie.
Yeah, I was saying like there's a lot going on. How long you said you'd living in Jamaica for?
I've been in Jamaica back and forth for years.
Yeah, you said like 21 years, didn't it?
No.
I've been married to Jamaican for 21 years. We've been back and forth between the UK and Jamaica. And I was just telling the host that this is more of a British problem. That's all I came here to say.
To be fair,
Jamaica, because they were talking about different topics about Jamaican motors, one out of many people, and so that's why I came in, to be honest.
So
that's their motto here. What I was trying to tell the host here is that in Jamaica they don't really care. They love people embracing their culture and so on and so forth. That's all I came here to say. Didn't come here to be attacked and be called a Jamaican. I don't really care what you guys have to say.
Let me address that. Hold on.
No, in regards to me, myself, and Jamaica. That's all.
Everyone stop. Everyone stop. Let me address something.
I'm not talking about the topic.
Listen, let me address something, right? Here's my thing. I don't want to be interrupted, so I'm gonna say my point, and then I'll let whoever needs to respond to what I said respond. But here's my thing. Okay, so you said you came through only to say that Jamaicans in Jamaica don't really care. You know the guy that made the Jamaican movie, who's Nigerian, when Jamaicans were upset, Jamaicans and Jamaican heritage Brits were upset. What he said was, he ain't focused on the people in Britain who are Jamaican heritage, me paraphrasing, because he's been to Jamaica more than the people who are Jamaican heritage in Britain, and people in Jamaica don't necessarily care as much. And what I've noticed is when it's people who aren't Caribbean at all, people who aren't from the West Indies, people who aren't Jamaican, when they engage in these conversations, there's an attempt to separate people who are Caribbean heritage from Caribbean people who are born on the islands, Jamaican heritage people from Jamaican people that are born on the islands. There's this attempt to separate by people that aren't even part of the culture or ethnically part of that culture. And the reason I find that fascinating is because it feels like a divide and conquer tactic. Because my thing is, I'm talking about something happening in Britain that's affecting Caribbean heritage Brits. And you said you're Angolan, so you're African, but you live in Jamaica and you have a partner who is Jamaican, and for some reason that made you feel like you could be the spokesperson to express to me how people in Jamaica who are Jamaican feel about this topic, even though you yourself aren't Jamaican and you can't speak for them to me.
Okay, host, can I just ask you a question? Is everybody on this panel Jamaican?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
With an Angolan flag as well on this panel. I see somebody with an Angolan flag talking on this panel.
Who?
I don't know his name, but I saw somebody.
His name's on the screen. Like, everyone's name's there. You can read it. Who?
He's gone. Hello, can you identify yourself? Because he was.
Now here's the thing. Watch this. Hold on. Everyone who is African heritage or African, whether they're East or West, that have come on this panel to speak, have spoken on behalf of their own experience and their own community. That's it. You've come on to speak on behalf of Jamaicans.
I'm speaking on behalf of my experience. That's all. You said the own heritage, and I'm speaking on behalf of my experience being in Jamaica, and I feel like Jamaicans, and I have a lot of Jamaicans around me right now listening to this conversation. They're just not interested. That's not their problem. That's your
can I say something?
Because they're thinking about money. That's it.
One second. Can I say something? Can I say something, Marie? Call it 1 second, Marie, you see, the thing is, you can't, what you're saying is that you're taking away from the British experience versus no, can I say what I'm saying, please? Can I say what I'm saying, please? Hold on, can I say what I'm saying, please? Because when you come and you say that Jamaicans, which I concur, because it's not until that, and this is the only reason that I can somewhat agree with you, is because I went through it as well. Being in Jamaica, yeah, it was nice seeing other people taking on our culture, but at the same time, when I came to England, it is much deeper than what we're seeing in. So it's not the same as a tourist coming to Jamaica and be like, walk one man, yeah man. It's not the same.
Thank you.
It is not the same. So
I understand that.
Hold on.
Yeah,
but when you come and you say, "Oh, the Jamaicans in Jamaica don't care," that's you're diminishing what we're talking about.
Sorry, I've got a Jamaican laughing here, so I'm just
that's
laughing
fine.
with him.
It is. You know why they're laughing? You know why they're laughing, Marie? Because they're not living. We are speaking about a lived experience.
Listen, it's not an issue. I don't think it's an issue for somebody to embrace your culture. To be honest,
I don't think it's an issue. Hold on.
Everyone stop. Now watch this.
Wait, quickly before you say it.
I'm glad you said that, because this takes me back to
right there, sir. All right, thank you.
Hold on.
Right there, sir.
This takes me back to my initial issue. Yo, who's talking, bro? Like, chill, man. I'm speaking. This takes me back to my initial problem, which happened a few weeks ago. There were people that were in Africa. One was from Guinea, and there was someone else that was still living in West Africa. I can't remember what country, and they came on to say I don't think that Jamaicans should gatekeep anything because we like what we like from your community and your culture. And I said, you know, like, even though they acknowledge that our culture is influential and that in Britain, Black British Caribbean culture is very influential, and what people see as Black British identity and culture is quite literally Caribbean, right? Even though you acknowledge that, I said, what was it that made you see the prompt that said, should Jamaicans gatekeep? And as a non-Jamaican person, feel the chest and audacity to come through and speak to members of my community about what we should and shouldn't do about our culture. What was it? What was it that made you do that? Because my thing is, if JEWs were having a conversation about their community and their culture and they said, should we start gatekeeping, would you have the chance to go through there and tell them anything? If you see a bunch of Bangladeshi people speaking, would you go through and tell them what they should and shouldn't do? If you saw Somali people speaking, would you go through and tell them what they should and shouldn't do with their culture and their community and their identity and whether they should gatekeep or not? Would you? No. But with Jamaicans, you feel naturally that you can. Because what? Because we're welcoming, because we embrace, because we engage, and because you enjoy our music and our food and you think that's all it is. Is that all it is?
Call it 1 second, Simon.
They're disingenuous.
Hold on, wait. Let's go in order. Hold on, because Simon Lawrence, give me a second, because Kwan was before you, so I'm gonna let Kwan and then you. But first, Miss Somebody was about to address this. So
I was gonna say, I think she's just speaking from her own experience. Yeah, that's. I think that's what all of this is. She's coming in, oh, I've been this, this is my experience, However, the way that she said it, the way that she did it, is as if she's diminishing what we're going through in the UK. I know that wasn't your intention. However, that's how we received it.
Listen, hold on. Sorry, Miss Somebody.
That's not what I meant to come across.
Hold on. Miss Somebody, hold on. Because my thing is, because Miss Somebody, I know you're from home as well, and then you're in the UK and stuff, and I love that. I love the accent. It just makes me so happy. I'm glad you're here, honestly. I swear down, me love you, see. I swear down, I'm happy you're here, right? But my thing is this, one thing I want you to clock, when these conversations happen, and I hope you come on more lives. Hold on, let me follow you. I hope you come on more lives. Have I followed you?
I don't know. I followed you.
It says I have, but if it's not working, then I'll follow you afterwards because you followed me. My thing is this, right? When people from communities outside of the West Indies come on here and they say things like that, it's always with a funny little intention. Right. And the thing is, it's always with a little tone that I clock because in Britain, even though many of us are Caribbean heritage or African heritage, there's a British way to do little funny little things without saying how we really feel. And it's something we just picked up from like Brits. It's a British thing to do. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a British thing to do where you say little funny things, but you're not saying what you really want to say. So what I know is she came through as a non-Caribbean person, as a non-Jamaican person, and said, just so you know, in Jamaica where I live, I'm gonna tell you the tone and the vibe and the sentiment. In Jamaica where I live, they don't care. Now, here's the thing, the prompt is why it is on the screen, so why are you coming through to tell me as a non-Jamaican what you think Jamaicans think? Because you're married to a Jamaican, I don't care. It's the same reason, hold on. It's the same reason that the man who made Jamaican taking the piss with Jamaicans, wants to tell us that he's got a half Jamaican child and he goes to Jamaica. So, I don't care. Like, you're not going to disrespect my shit, and you're not going to disrespect our communities just because you're not Jamaican.
How is that disrespecting your community?
I don't care.
You are the person that said you don't even know any white Jamaicans. That means that you're so narrow-minded. You don't know your own culture. You do not know your own culture.
Talk to me as an Angolan. Talk to me.
Man, the host is talking, man. Relax.
Talk to me as an Angolan. Don't talk to me for Jamaica.
You don't know your own culture. You said they're not white Jamaicans.
No, you're not.
White Jamaicans have been here for centuries.
The host is talking. Damn. Damn.
You can respectfully piss off. Either you talk to me on behalf of your Angolan heritage, yeah, or you shut up, bro. I don't care. I don't flipping care if you're married to a Jamaican man. So, like, what is that meant to do something for me? Does that
That's
give
what
you
I said.
authority
She's
to talk to me
disingenuous.
as a Jamaican heritage person? You lot have too much chest. You have too much chest, and I know the vibe, and now you're gonna, oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I'm a dickhead. I know how you meant it, bro. Like, I don't flipping care. Like, us are too flipping nice in the first place, which is why you thought you could do this stupid shit. You're Angolan. Talk as an Angolan. Don't talk to me on behalf of Jamaicans. I don't want to flipping hear it. I will speak to my community the way I see fit, but you're not a member of my community, so you can't tell me what my community think about anything. And that's the end of that. Anyway, Michelle.
I wish she has a passport.
I wish
so
she didn't.
Right.
That's the thing. I wish she didn't drop her, because I could tell that she had a sense of superiority that she gets to live there and we don't.
That's where it comes from. Yeah,
and do you know what it was?
Let them know where you're from. Go ahead,
I'm so mad you dropped her, Curly. Why did you drop her?
Right, you wanted to address her directly, did ya?
Yes.
She ain't blocked. Marie, listen, you all come back, cause people want to address you. So if you want to come back so Kwan can address you directly, I won't be speaking to you. I don't like you. But if you want to come up, she can address you, innit? You guys are bad man. No, Marie, talk like an Angolan. Talk like an Angolan. Are we bad mind, Are we bad mind, Marie? Talk like an Angolan, Marie. Come up, Marie, because you're bad in it. Come up, Marie.
No, listen.
Marie, come back. Let me apologize.
One second. Let me be the voice of reasoning. This is becoming unproductive right now. Yeah, if Marie comes back up here, it's gonna be a very unproductive.
No. Listen, yeah, I wanted to.
Hold on. Anyway,
she said you guys can't bad me up.
Go on, you see you, yeah. You see you, yeah.
No, see, I
Why won't she speak like her? Do you know how irritating it is to have people that are not part of the community that want to come up and try and humble me, either through my own culture, my own community, and they won't talk like them? You put the Jamaican and Brit flag before you put your own. Like, am I a dickhead? Talk like you. I don't want to hear about bad minded and you can't bad me up and all. Talk like you. I see through the BS, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you can't trick me into this. There are people that don't see what you're trying to do because you obviously come to Britain a lot. I heard the British accent, so I know what you picked up. And you know the art of subtlety, right? And being disingenuous and gaslighting, because that's a norm here. We've all learned it. The difference is Jamaican heritage people are more clear on what they believe and they say what they feel. I'm telling you what I feel. I don't like you. But my thing is, if you're going to come up here, speak on behalf of your community. You having a Jamaican man does not give you the right, to speak on behalf of Jamaican people to me. The same way if I see an Angolan person speaking with other Angolans, talking on their community, if I'm with an Angolan, I don't see that as a right now for me to go in there and say, well, you know, I live in Angola. They don't care. It doesn't give me the right to do that. But because you're in Jamaica and because you're sleeping with a Jamaican man, you think now somehow that you're Jamaican because you text something that ain't from your community.
You know what? Yeah, I was trying to give Marie the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I was trying to give Marie the call me stupid. Yeah, I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Right,
but you see when she makes that comment about I'm in your country.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I'm in your country. She's trying to one up.
Miss somebody, may I tell you, they're funny, like over here, I'm telling you, they're not playing, man. Like,
don't worry, Marie, I'll see you in June.
Anytime you hear anyone, Miss somebody, speak to you and say, oh, I live in Jamaica, and on behalf of Jamaicans, or Jamaicans feel, listen, what makes you have that chest? Do you know how many people from other communities that I've had as friends, and I've never fixed my mouth to say something on behalf of them? Like I said, the very first live I did was because there were people that were Ghanaian and Nigerian speaking down on our community. And you know, the first response that I got from the Nigerian guy when I said, listen, did you just tell me you're Nigerian? I ain't speaking to you on my community. This isn't anything to do with you. You know what he said? Oh, I've got Jamaican friends. I can say what I want.
It's always the case, isn't it? It's almost like a racist person saying, oh, I've got black friends.
Thank you.
My Jamaican passport makes me have that chest. See, this is my thing. You know when Khloe Kardashian,
Speak to me in your Angolan language. language, bro. I don't want to hear Jamaican patois in the chat, because my thing is, when you want to tap into your spiciness, you want to tap into our community. What's that? You're proud, innit?
You know when Khloe
Jerber wants to
Kardashian
be
said
rised
the
up.
N-word.
Jerber wants to come up.
Oh, you know when Khloe Kardashian said the N-word and she was like, "But my kids are black." Girl, what the hell? Girl, what the hell?
Hold on a second, guys. Delusional criticism, Nee and Charm Miller. I will bring you guys up in a bit. Okay, I can see you, just so you know.
But what I wanted to say to Marie before the new speaker speaks, and also I would like to apologize to the panel because I was trolling.
You can go ahead, Kwan. Go ahead, Kwan.
Sorry, I was trolling.
Kwan, if you didn't wish for them, would I give one conk in the head? They get too much starch in you.
You know what it is? I saw it and I just couldn't help it. Like I was like, I just
pissed.
But do you know what it was? This is why I was gonna say.
Kwan, you're bad people, you know. You start the whole of this in the corner. You.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm with you, Kwan. The thing is, you're over here. You know what it is, man. Trying to play, like, please.
No,
honestly. Hear all that.
But do you know what was his name? Kendake. What he said about.
And did you, Kwan? Did you let everyone know where you were from? Where your ethnic background is?
Oh yes. So my mum is. Big Caribbean, by the way. My mum is half Cuban and half Jamaican, and then my dad is Jamaican. My dad's from Spanish Town, and my mum is from Portmore. But yes, they moved here in the early 2000s, and then I was born like 2 years later, so they really got busy, real quick.
You're like, laid the foundation.
No, honestly. But I wanted to say, this is why I was hearing what Kendake was saying earlier about the whole out of many one people thing, because we know when I was growing up, my mum never called us Afro-Caribbean. She never called us that. I've never heard that phrase until literally like maybe last year, or like maybe like the year before, like this whole diaspora thing on TikTok. I never heard that. My mum always just used to call us Caribbean, like the whole family. That's all we ever knew. So that whole out of many one people thing, like he's having that argument, I could kind of hear it, because you know when she was like, Miss, what's her name, Marie? She came up here and she was like, out of many one people. I thought, and you think you're one of those people?
Of course she does.
But the thing is,
different history, but she thinks she is.
No, but like people. It doesn't matter.
You have the passport. That's why.
That statement is much more than just a bunch of people living on an island. It has contextual and history behind it.
Exactly.
So you can't just sit there and be like, out of many one people, and think that you're a part of the club. You're not a part of the club. You're outside the club, girl. You can get a pass. I don't know, but like,
and you can't even get in.
You can't even get in.
My thing is, before you continue, Kwan, people have to pay attention to the sentiment and why I reacted the way I did, because I'm telling you, I know, I've encountered too many now. I know what she was feeling and why she tried this stupid shit. And my thing is this, she is living in Jamaica, right? She's Angolan, right? She doesn't live in Britain, right? Okay. And she's not British, right? From what she said. Okay. Now my thing is this, if I'm speaking to my community, and then there are people who aren't members of the community, whether they're East or West or whatever in Africa, that are coming up and speaking. We had what was his name? I forgot his name. The guy who's East African that came on earlier and was speaking, and like beautiful conversation, because I agreed with him. Like he acknowledged the reality of what's going on, right? Whatever the background, the thing is this. If I'm saying something about people who keep trying to do this shit I'm talking about, who are West African, who are speaking down on the community while cosplaying West Indian people, right? If I'm speaking to that, what was it that lit a fire in her as an Angolan woman living in Jamaica to come through just to tell me Jamaicans don't care? What was it that made her feel that way?
Do you know what's crazy about that statement as well?
It's because of who I'm talking about. So she's Angolan first, which she should, because she can never be Jamaican. But my thing is, she spoke to me as an Angolan with the image of I live in Jamaica. That's what she did. And this is my point. I
Can I
don't
say
trust
something?
anyone that comes through
Sorry.
with this whole, well, I'm going to speak for what Jamaicans think. You can't tell me what Jamaicans think if you're not Jamaican, bro. You can't.
But here's
I'm
the thing
sorry.
about Jamaicans, yeah,
ready.
they don't
Host,
mind being
I wanna come through.
commodified. And I can say this as someone who is constantly there. They don't mind being characterized and commodified. They don't. Like, they are grateful for any type of people that come over there and try and celebrate them, but they don't realize they're not really celebrating you. They celebrate the character that you're presented through the media.
True.
They lack certain aspects of your culture. But like when if they were to do like Junkanu, they would turn around like, what's this devil shit? Like they don't like that stuff. Like jab. Every
They did the same thing with jab, yeah.
Exactly. So it's like it's only certain aspects they characterize us, and whatever they see in the media, that's what they like. And
Can I
Jamaicans.
address it?
Do you remember the
address it,
ginger
please?
guy? Do you remember that ginger Brit? I can't remember his name. His ginger and his English. Like English is not
Oh, when he
Scottish
came
or
on here and he
Welsh.
was calling us all sorts of nonsense.
He's from
Ginger
here,
J.
and he ended up making it onto Drewski's show.
Oh no, him.
M.R.
Oh yeah.
M.R.
What's
And
his
Tom Hanks' son.
name?
M.R.
Him.
Yeah.
Please.
Can I approach
Yo.
Get me busting out my head. That one.
Hey,
Can I address?
host, Coley, is it?
I swear down, that man gets me mad, you know. And my thing is, I know he was enabled by Jamaicans. I know that. I know he was enabled by Jamaicans. He learned the patois through Jamaicans, and people would have been welcoming and using.
That's not authentic.
No, but they do it with everyone. Tom Hanks' son,
Hold on. The one thing is this, and this is my problem, right? Because again, he's from here. He's in Britain. So yeah, he goes to Jamaica and stuff like that, whatever. But what they won't understand is what he did when he was here. So there's an interview with him speaking to a Jamaican heritage black woman, right? And telling her
that he's more Jamaican. That guy. Sorry.
The white dude, the white ginger dude.
The ginger guy.
With the ponytail. And he was rapping. And he was rapping. And in that thing, he said to the girl that I'm more Jamaican than you are. And he doesn't. Oh, hold on.
That's Marie's brethren.
Can I tell you something? I used to work in a restaurant in Brixton, yeah? And he always came in and he always buy stuff in the restaurant, a Jamaican restaurant. All right? I legitimately, because obviously because I know that we have so many faces, the way that he operated, I legitimately thought he was Jamaican because we were having conversations about places in Jamaica. And the thing that I always use as a mark to know that you're not flipping Jamaican, yeah, is if I ask you about somewhere like, for instance, Linstead, yeah, not a lot of people that are not from Jamaica are not familiar with Jamaica won't know Linstead. They will more know Kingston and Mobay and maybe Spanish Town.
Grand Market.
You understand? But we were having conversations about it, and I thought he was from Jamaica. You understand? But when I saw that interview, I don't think he even have Jamaican heritage.
No, he's not Jamaican at all.
Do you see what I'm talking about? And then we're not supposed to be outraged about this.
Let me tell you something.
The boy that come from Kent.
Literally, he's English.
Not Kent.
He's an Englishman. Like through and through. He's English.
I think he was Irish.
Nah, Kent didn't come from.
He doesn't have any Jamaican ancestry. He doesn't have any Caribbean. He is English, right? And the thing is, watch this now, because he got embraced so much by people that were Jamaican, right? Because he learned patois. Because look, there were Jamaican heritage Brits that can't speak patois, but can speak with a Jamaican accent, but they can't speak patois because it is its own language. And obviously, you know, if the grandparents and the parents didn't really speak it like that, or, you know, they grew up in Britain, they didn't really pay attention to it as much, they won't necessarily be able to speak it like fluently. What he did though was he learned it, right? He learned it so that he could speak it very well, so that people who were Jamaican believed he was Jamaican, and there were Jamaicans that helped him and taught him. And then what did he do as soon as he got embraced? He went onto a platform with a Jamaican heritage British woman and made a point of telling her, I am more Jamaican than you because I go to Jamaica more than you. Now watch this. When I go to Spain, right, and I know Spanish heritage people in the UK, their parents are Spanish, right? If I go to Spain, and I've been multiple times, do I tell them that I'm more Spanish than them? No. But for some reason you said, like I'ma colonize this shit, because that's what it is. It just comes immediately to them to do this shit. Like, why couldn't you just deal with, oh, look, they're embracing me. That's nice. Let me humble myself and show respect and pay homage. No, I see a Jamaican heritage girl and that's pissing me off. So let me just tell her, because her existence is a direct, it's a direct stance of opposition towards this image I'm trying to pretend to have. So let me just tell her how not Jamaican she is, because I go there. Let the man who's Nigerian who made Jamaican tell people he visits Jamaica more than the people who are Jamaican heritage in Britain. So he has the right to make this show. Let this gal that came on here to tell us that she was Angolan, but her husband's Jamaican and she lives in Jamaica, so she can say what she wants. This is the point. It's because people feel too brave and bright and brazen as soon as they're accepted in some sort of way.
They forget
and
they're a
now
guest.
there's a resentment that is deep rooted that we're not aware of, that then comes to the surface, and then you want to be dictating to people who they are and telling people what they should believe and what they should think on behalf of their own community. Like, no.
And then there is this as well.
She said that she's more Jamaican than all of us because she have a Jamaican passport.
Okay, so
I'm gonna be her in June. She best make sure I don't catch her.
Can I please say something?
Sorry. If you were,
hold on. I'm gonna bring in Simon in a second, but my thing is this, innit?
I'm talking to my
No
Jamaican
matter where
people.
I go, if I go there frequently, it is not a desire to me, for me personally, because I'm proud of what I am. I'm proud of my ethnicity. So it's not a desire for me to take on the identity of another ethnic group and another community and then tell them that I'm more of them than they are. Because I have no desire to do that, because my community is a flex. So I don't feel the need to do that. I like what I am. When you don't like what you are, you do shit like that. That's when it comes up. Oh, I'm more you than you. Bro, listen. Celebrate your culture and your community and talk to me how you would talk in your community's tongue. I don't care what kind of Jamaican things you take. I don't care. It's irrelevant. I don't care if you're on the island. I don't care if you touch the soil. I don't care if your kid's half Jamaican. I don't care if your nephews, nieces, sisters, uncles, godfather's son is Jamaican. I don't care, bro. It's irrelevant. You're you. Be proud of you and speak to me as you. I don't want to hear you talking in what you think is Jamaican lingo or Jamaican patois to try and humble me. Are you okay?
But you know what it is? It's actually her man's fault as well.
She thinks guys, she thinks that she a real Jamaican now.
She does. She said, I'm talking to my Jamaican people.
You know, eat look at cheese tricks or onion bits. She thinks he's real Jamaican now.
No, real. That's why she put the Jamaican flag before the Angolan flag. She ain't proud to be Angolan, bro. And if she wasn't claiming to be Jamaican, she'd be claiming to be Portuguese.
But think about it. Before I bring in Simon, like I mentioned earlier, the woman that moved out of West Africa and moved to Dominican Republic, right? She's moved to the Dominican Republic. What has she called herself? What's her name? You can type it in right now.
Well, it's like Afro-Dominican or African-Dominican.
African-Dominican. Why don't you say the country you're from in your name?
Because it's fake pride. They're not actually proud. They're not actually proud.
Dominican.
Right. If it was cool to be African in the early 2000s instead of the Caribbean, I guarantee you that flag wouldn't be there above her own.
Of course not. Of course not. Let me bring in Simon.
One second. Imagine if this is what they were doing 400 years ago.
One sec, Sovereign. Let me bring in Simon. He's been waiting for a long time, and then I'll come to you, Sovereign, straight after Simon. Go ahead, Simon Lawrence. Where are you from, and what's your ethnic background?
Okay, thank you very much. Your platform is excellent.
Thank you.
I like what you're trying to get through and say. I'm born in England. Both my parents are from Jamaica, and I'm 61 years old, and I've done what I need to do now. Okay, so I'm like an elder and an overseer now. Yeah.
Okay.
And I hear what you're saying. So I've observed. And what it is, we came here kind of first in the 60s and the 50s. Our language had been ripped away from us. And we were here. So when everybody comes over, they see us, okay? And they use our spirit. They use our spirit to start with, to get across And they know they're doing it. But the advantage they've got is they speak a different language completely, where we're speaking in English and we have a thing called patois. Okay? And the English hasn't recognized it as a language.
You know, that's a recognized language.
I can speak patois. I can speak patois into a language where the English wouldn't understand. So that's the advantage they think they've got.
People try to call it. I mean, I think my grandma said it, and it's sad because it's just the effects of colonialism. But people try and call it broken English, which is such a flipping insult. It's not broken English, and for most people that think that it is, I promise you, if you hear genuine patois, you won't understand a thing that they're saying.
It's a code.
Because it's an actual language. You're hearing.
So we have to label it.
A lot of people think, unfortunately, Simon, don't worry, I'll let you respond because it's your turn to speak.
Thank you.
But a lot of people think because they hear Jamaicans speaking English with a Jamaican accent, they'll say, oh, that's patois. No, that's a Jamaican person speaking English, bro. I need you to hear Jamaican patois. It's not the same thing.
It's a code.
It's different.
So we call
it's different, and you won't understand it.
Yeah. So what we do, we call it a code. It's a code of conduct. It's our code of conduct. You have to have a kind of English label to protect it. It's our code, and they use our code to try to use it as their key. But it's our code. Okay. So we have to have a label that it's our code, and they know that. They know that. They have knowledge of it. No meaning silent K. They have knowledge of it, and we are here now, first generation here. We're the first generation here after my parents were born over there. So they know how to get through, use our nature to get through. That's what's actually happening. But we have to find words to protect it. So it's code of conduct and words like that. We have to try and galvanize to keep it real. I love the way you're keeping it real. But then to keep it real, we use excitement, and they're going to bamboozle us by saying that we're psychosis and all these kind of mental words to kind of water us down. This is what's happening. But I like the way you're keeping it real. We're keeping it real. Okay? And that's what they're trying to do. But before they just tell the truth, they go through this mist. A mist meaning they send a mist out, smoke screen, a mystery, and they're trying to dilute us and then put their agenda over our agenda when we were here first. They're using us because of our color of skin is the same as them, so they use that. But our insides. So we have to go through the Olympics like the 100-meter sprint and things like that, and that shows that we have this energy. It's this energy inside of it's in our genes. They know it's in our genes. And because of colonialism and slavery and all kind of carries on, but we're still here. We're still here.
Yeah.
And I like the way you're keeping it alive, and they should step backwards and give us some credence to say thank you.
Respectful. Because my thing is this, like I don't know if you were here before, but I mentioned that this guy has made this video on YouTube for people that are, I mean, his audience are very American. So they won't necessarily know what's going on in the UK. But what he did was he made a video explaining what Black British culture is and left it like that. You know, he didn't say Black British Caribbean or Black British African. He said, what is Black British culture? And literally just listed off a bunch of Caribbean heritage stuff. That was it. And I was like, so you made a video to tell people that aren't from here what so-called Black British culture, so-called Black British culture is, right? And then reference a bunch of Caribbean stuff, and then don't reference your West African community stuff, right? And then say that's it, that's Black, and we're all Black British. No,
because
everything that you guys are putting on here and anything that people outside of the UK would think is so-called Black British culture is Caribbean heritage culture. The end. Everything from garage to flipping drum and bass to jungle to flipping grime. All of that is Caribbean, bro. Like I don't want to hear anything else. And then the audacity to say, Skepta and Stormzy, are you taking a piss? Like they jumped onto something that already existed. We're not going to pretend
the value and put life into the English language. That's what we actually do. Put life in English language.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, I come from a corporate background. I was at a meeting right at work, and I promise you that the whole team's white. Okay, and the head of the team was speaking, and she wanted everyone to come up with an idea for a certain project to help reward people who achieved a certain thing, right? I'll leave it like that. You know what she said? She says, we need to find a way to big up these people. So she just said big up.
Exactly.
What? She just said big up. She said big up. She actually just said big up. I swear down, my mind was like...
So you never stop her.
My manager always say, "Wow,
I'm like, excuse me."
Now.
I was like, "What did you just say?"
I was in a meeting. I was watching.
What's that me? What's that me?
Watch this. Do you know that it's in corporate language now? Do you know they say that now?
Yeah.
Listen,
I've heard. Hold on. I've actually heard Americans say it now. It's normal. People just say it now. They say big up, and they think it's just part of English language.
Listen, when they come to me with that nonsense, I'm like, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, just because they know you're Jamaican, yeah, don't do that. Talk to me normal.
Miss somebody. She didn't know I was Jamaican. I was new to the team, and it was on a team call. It was a big team, majority white people, and she said big up. She weren't talking to me.
See, they like her culture, but they don't like her struggle.
Even the handshake, the cupping of the handshake.
My manager,
we invented that.
My manager always, every single stand up, she always says "Wagwan." She always does.
We invented that. That's
all the time. Like,
I would have to put them in their place. Anytime they come to me with "Wagwan," sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, but
Excuse me? What does that mean?
Excuse me?
That's what I'm trying to say to you. We
invented it, Simon. We know we invented it. But when they take it on, and then just because, especially when they know that you're Jamaican, they think that it's okay to come and speak to you like that. No, don't do that. First of all, especially if we're not friends and I've never spoken to you in patois, it doesn't warrant you, just because you know that one word, to come to me and be like, No, don't do it. I'm putting you. I'm telling you, don't do it.
We had that.
Do you know how many times
we had that with this? Hold on. We had that with this Asian guy, and to be clear, she wasn't speaking to me. It was a team meeting, and she was speaking to a great group of people. And she said that it wasn't for me. That's how they talk now in private. Just like how it's not the same because it's not like a separate language. But there are people who in America, right, who are Black Americans that have a certain way that they'll speak when they're among their own colloquial language, right, or Ebonics. And now you'll see your feed filled with people saying who are white saying this is just Gen Z talk. Say, hold on, that's not Gen Z talk. That's how Black Americans speak. That's not a thing. So this is what's happening. But generally speaking, there are people that are taking certain elements now and trying to normalize it. But then if you, as the actual real product, speak that way, then suddenly it's some sort of ghetto shit. Like me and my brother, we went to this vape shop, right? And we were getting like these different flavored vapes. And there were these, I mentioned in London, there was the Asian guy that told me I was speaking London lingo. And then in this vape shop, there was this Asian guy that was working there. Guys, tap up the screen for me and send me some donuts because I'm hungry. I've been going for hours. Basically, he picked up a vape and he was like, oh, nah, this one's good. This and the third. And he greeted us by saying, Wagwan. And our brother looked at each other. And afterwards now, he's got the vape. Do you know what he did? Thank you. Do you know what he did? He got the vape, yeah? And he said, oh, I need to put I can't remember what it's called. It's the liquid shit with the flavor. He put that stuff in there and he said it needs to absorb for a bit. And then he said you have to like inhale it to get it like working. Do you know what my man did? Remember, we're Jamaican heritage, you know. We're very hygienic people. My man took the...
Oh, tell me he did that. No.
I'm not joking. No. My man picked up the shit. He was like...
No!
It's time for my brother said, hey, try this, brother. You know, they try to put that shit in their throat, make it sound like just that Caribbean heritage. I try this, brother. Like it's some puff and pass shit. I said, shit.
What did you do?
He looked at me, and then he looked at him and said, you just put your mouth on it. He was like, oh, bro, like, come on, man. Like, I ain't got germs or anything. He said, no, but you put your mouth on it. Like, you think I'm going to put my mouth on it after you put your mouth on it? He's like, nah, it's not like that, this, that, and the third. And then he had to clean it and get a new one and shit. And all I was thinking was, like, we were talking about it afterwards, and it was like, he saw us, knew we were Caribbean, and then immediately went into this Wagwan shit. And then put his mouth on the shit, because apparently all of us are hood and
More sound puff.
So you took the vape and treated it like it was a spliff and shit. Like all of us smoke and it. Apparently all of us smoke weed. Like that's obviously what you think. And you tapped into that to have this energy. Now if we walked up in there and said, hello bro, you if we did that, how would you feel? You think we were being racist, wouldn't you?
Exactly. And this is why it's important. And I think this is the reason why we're going hard for people that are non-Jamaican and how they represent us. Because at the end of the day, there's so much stereotype that's out there about us. And when you have these people, the first thing, like for instance, the robbery guy, he talks about robbery, and then somebody that doesn't know that he's not Jamaican, assume that he's Jamaican and believe that, that's all Jamaican. That's all we talk about. That's all this. I've had to have a go at people. I remember one time one guy said to me, oh, you don't look Jamaican. How do Jamaicans look? And then he goes, oh, you don't bleach, you don't talk loud, you don't do all of this. I was like, do you know that 99% of the population don't bleach? And I was just giving him a number because I don't know for a fact. But between those, like, there's a small percentage of people that actually bleach in Jamaica. And anyway, I'm not even going to go in that because I'm just going to open a whole can of worm. You understand?
I understand. It's frustrating because in the diaspora, there are people, like, as a whole that bleach. In parts of West Africa, there are people that are bleaching, that are known to be bleaching. Like, I'm sorry, but this whole, because of Max Cartel and him talking about the cake soap and all of that, apparently now everyone bleaches. I don't know where they get this from, these stereotypes, but it's really insulting. I mean, if you look at Jamaican, you will see, do you know who Peter Andre is?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when
when I was in Jamaica,
he did the blackface and the Rasta hair.
Yes,
I didn't even watch it because I was so pissed off when I saw it.
I was downtown. I was in downtown Jamaica.
Hold on. Hold on. Ross.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on. Miss Somebody's, do you know who made that?
No, because I didn't even watch it.
Good, because neither did I. I didn't watch it either. Hold on 1 second.
And then I think he did a whole press conference about why he did what he did because there was an outrage, and he was like, "Oh, because whatever he said." I was like, "Why was it necessary?"
It wasn't even his fault. Because watch this, Miss Somebody. The man that made the film, who produced it, his name is Freddie Unwaka. That sounds like a Jamaican to you?
It's not all Africans, but it's always an African.
But some Jamaicans are co-signing it though, like,
they're stealing our identity.
Hey, hold on. He's Nigerian. He's Nigerian. I watched this. That same man that made the film. Jamaicans were outraged. Jamaican heritage people who were in Britain and Jamaican people from the island were angry about it, right? His argument was he travels to Jamaica more than people who are Jamaican heritage in the UK. So whatever that means. His kid is half Jamaican, so whatever that means. And then he went on to say in interviews that when he was a kid, he used to tell people he was Jamaican. He's Nigerian, you know. My thing is, anyone that used to lie about their ethnic background will never be able to truly respect or love anyone who is Jamaican or Caribbean heritage because there is resentment, because people don't get over their childhood trauma. That's why we got this dickhead movie now.
They baptized themselves through Jamaica. And then after that, they think they got power.
Literally. Hence Miss Marie or whatever the Ross. Oh, my husband's Jamaican, my man's Jamaican, and I live in Jamaica, so I'm Jamaican now. Listen, please. You'll never be Jamaican, Marie, if you're still here. You'll never be Jamaican, Marie. You'll never be Jamaican. You will always be Angolan, and that is fine. I think if you have a child, you need to teach that child the Angolan history. And then your dad should teach them the other side.
What are you talking about, Curly?
At the end of the day, your man needs to tell you that the way you're acting is mad still, Carl.
Curly, what are you talking about? she's Jamaican and her man's Jamaican, so their kids are Jamaican.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, you're right. You're
Out
right.
of many one people, innit?
Out of many one people, so she's fully Jamaican, don't it?
You know, someone said in the comment section.
You're taking too far now.
Oh,
Anyway,
People, please, no one's taking it too far, bro. I don't want to hear. Listen, hold on. You can't Erica men me, you know. I don't want to hear about, don't talk about people's kids and this, that, and the third. No one's talking on their kids. I said if she has children, she will need to teach them her Angolan side,